tag, or suppose you could do a purse tag, maybe something. I'm not really sure what kids use tags for. I don't have any. So these could be tags that you give your friends. I don't know. Some people have like groups that go out to vacations together, stuff like that. So I know one of my best friends' families, they all go to one specific beach every year. And that's their, kind of family unit type of spending time together because they're all split up over different places. So anyway, what we're going to do is we're going to start with making a tag, and then we're going to start making riffs on what you can say on the tags. So I'm going to share over to my Illustrator where I've already started making the tag, and I'm actually going to go back over this for you so that there's you don't need to use purchased shapes. You can make your own very easily, and then it's exactly what you're after. So right here, you can see that already. I'm not going for that basic tag dimensions that most people use. What I've started with right here is a 2x3, which is approximately a business card size, and I've rounded the corners a bit just so it doesn't kind of catch on anything or poke someone, and it kind of gives it a better feel of being professional, because a lot of people will just make a square and they don't spend a minute of time thinking about the different reasons why you would kind of shape that out. Okay, so I went ahead and drew a line from the center of this. Oops. There you can see there. My Illustrator is working me today. You can see it's almost from the center here. I actually should have moved that up just a little bit. It looks like, I think that's probably too much. Anyway, it's almost from the center, and that was purely for me to get an idea of where I wanted to start and stop these shapes in order to make the top of the tag. So I'm going to delete that now that I have this shape up here. And one of the things that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to come up here, and from the center of the shape, you can see right there, I'm going to you got to aim well. I'm going to come in here with the plus tool, which is just a plus pen tool, and it'll add a point. If you can get it, you gotta get right on that line. Oh, I'm terrible at this sometimes. I think it depends on how late in the day it is. Here we go. Can we get one more? Yeah, I just don't know. Sometimes it'll just go into the outline mode, and then it's like, okay, it's right there. There we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete half of this. And I'm just going to keep that piece here that's going to let us create the top of the tag. Obviously here, we're not going to need any of this. So I'm going to look and see. You can see there's the top. And I may just move this whole thing up to take advantage of that top point versus making another one, because that top point will be in both sides. So right there. Let's come back a little bit. And a little bit up. There we go. It's probably around there. Yeah, perfect. So now we can see that we actually don't need this full top right here either. So I'm going to delete coming from this one all the way down to this curve, because we don't need a curve on this side. And then you can see that we're going to take this piece and we're going to dupe it down using this as our center, and it's going to meet. You do that horizontal, and oh, it doesn't quite meet. So we're going to just adjust that a little until it does. It's all about just kind of guesstimating. And then you go in and you can select these guys and connect them to make a single line. Select here, connect them. This is Control J to connect. And there we go. So it's all centered, and you can see there's a little bump there. You know, you'll have little imperfections. You can choose to leave it, or you can choose to go back in and clean it out. I usually clean it out, but I'm not going to worry about that right now while we're talking about what we're doing for our tag. So you can see we've got these sharp corners again. And what's nice about Illustrator's new options, or newer options, I should say, is that it allows you to select them and then curve them at the same time. And I actually have a video on that as well. So right now we're just going to go with a little bit there, and this kind of works itself out for us. So this then is a 4x2 tag. So that's not terrible, I don't think. And what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here and add in a probably half inch. Do you think that is? That might be an inch. Gap, and that's going to be where we put our cord in or anything for the attachment to the tag. It looks like I managed to do a little over half inch. So I'm going to come back over here and I'm going to enter in half inch instead. And that's actually not too bad. So we're going to have to, we're going to have to center that with it. I think we can center it just like that. There. And you might say, you know what, I want it a little longer. So let's look and see what a full inch looks like here. So you can say, oh, that's too much. So let's go to 0.7. And it's just a little bit more, but it gives you, you know, it's all dependent on what you think you like. So now the tag that I saw was something that said, take me to, and then it was the beach. So you can see that it sounds like it's a luggage tag. So what I would do is I would initially start out with the text tool and I would type in take me to, and I think with this, what we're gonna want is we're probably gonna want all caps. So you can come over here, and Illustrator's nice about the fact that it'll let you type something out, and then there we go. It'll allow small caps, which is also called title case, which is kind of what I typed in right now, where every letter is capitalized on the word. Or it'll allow all caps, which there, I haven't changed anything. So you still have that's the wording I typed in, but it'll actually have it display as all caps. So that gives you kind of a different option if you're looking at it and saying, oh, I don't know, do I like that? Do I like that? You know, it gives you options without having to retype everything. You used to have to retype it. That's sad. I've been doing this a long time, so if I mention stuff that you're like, what are you talking about? Then it's probably more than 10 years ago. So I'm going to bring this over here. And then this right now is half inch tall. So it kind of feels a little tall to me. But we are working on a 2-inch tag. I'm gonna pull that down a bit. Let's see if we look at it about 3.3 inch versus 5. I think I like that better. And now if this is a tag, kind of like an airline tag, if you're thinking about it, then I kind of want that feel to it. So I'm going to come in first, take this outside edge. I'm going to go to Object, Path, Outline Stroke. Oh, shoot, that's the wrong one. We do that at the end. Object, Path, Offset Path. And right now I've got a 0.14 I don't know, I might want to go a little bit further than that, but I also want to go inside. So you can see there inside, I want to go maybe 0.2. See what that looks like. That's looking better to me. Yeah, let's start with that. I'm gonna come in and delete. Actually, I'm gonna leave this because we can do an outline on this, but I'll probably cut it off about here for this tag. So let's come in and do that first. And you can say, okay, this piece here, we want to add a point. So that's the plus symbol. Here we go. I'm trying to add a point on tab again. So we'll see if I get these. I got that one on the first try. So there we go. All right. So now we're going to select these two corners and we're going to delete them because we don't need this line going across. There we go. So this could be a stroke line. You can say, like, what I normally do is I put the stroke to green. This way it helps me remember that that's not a cut line. And let's actually get the point size up here to where we can see this. Zoomed in on it. So I'm not sure why we're not seeing that color change. Am I in outline mode? I'm in outline mode. All right, there. I'm so sorry. All right, let's take this down a couple. Sorry about that, guys. Now we have this text here. I'm going to say, let's do this. And I'm going to put a couple of lines here that match up with these guys. And they're saying, why are you using a box? Well, a box is the easiest way to get two lines that are parallel. So I'm going to come in and delete with the A arrow, the white arrow, select each line itself and leave that. And I think all of this is going to be an engrave. So this is all going to become, there we go. This is all going to be a stroke of pink. Oh, okay, never mind. I have to do it because these are going to be strokes. This is what I get for not getting caffeine into me. This guy is going to be a fill. I swear I just want to use the swatches. There we go, fill. And now I think one of the things that I'd like is I want to take this across. And I'm not going to use all of it, but I'm just going to use a little bit to kind of match it up. So there's the corner you can see. It's not going to quite go all the way, but I'm going to take it across here and just pass the T right here. So you get a little room. There. So I think that's looking good. It's looking a little, we haven't selected a font yet, so that's still looking a little design versus just I dropped some text there. So first of all, what I want to do before we select that font is I want to come down here and I'm going to make two pieces of fonts. One of them is going to be beach. And I'm going to take that out of, here you have to go down to advanced in the text. Of the character box. I'm running a little slow today, and I'm going to take off that caps. Wow, I'm really running slow. That's what I get for doing 2 in a row today. I did a video before this, and I think it slows down when it's doing the conversion. So this is going to be, I think it's lowercase, the beach. Now, let's pick a beachy font. Let's see how fast we can get to a beachy font. I'm thinking probably a script font for this. So I'm gonna go to script, and I really like something going on there, but it's not quite. I know the B is nice, but it's not quite beachy to me. So let's keep moving. And that could be good if it was thicker. And that doesn't feel like beach to me either. So let's keep moving. And now it's not quite a beach shade. I don't want something that leans forward. I want something leaning forward is actually a feeling of progress or motion. Leaning back is slower, like there. That feels like it's kind of slower, kind of laid back. Versus if you find something like I just passed one that was a little fast, kind of like that, I guess, where it's leaning forward, and you can see that. So here we go. There's the beach I found, and I quite like that. I think that we may end up having to thicken that up a little bit, but that's a good start. Now we could try saying, let's take this and make it the same font, just to start with. And what we would do is we select this, and we're going to use the eyedropper tool, which is just the eye on the keyboard. And you're going to say, I want this style. Click it, and there you go. You have that style. It's actually going to be the same size font and everything when you do it this way. So right now, there it looks kind of, I keep selecting the big thing because we're at the center right here. There, take me to the beach. Now, one of the things you think of when you have the beach is you think of like a beach ball or umbrella or the ocean or waves. So I was thinking, let's add in something to this that's easy to actually sketch out or do. And I think one of those is probably the beach ball. But I'm not sure that it would come across well in here. So we'll see. I'm going to start with the ellipse tool. And I'm going to hold Alt for the center. We're going to come over here. We're going to make a beach ball there. I'm going to turn this to a stroke. And with this, the way that a beach ball works is you can kind of take this and I think, oops, I need to make a copy here. I think if I copy F for copy in front, then I can just take this and do that part. And you can see that feels like the start of the beach ball. Obviously it's got some weirdness going on over here that we're just gonna delete. So you can see there's the point right there. We're gonna take the A arrow, so direct select. We're gonna select that anchor and we're gonna pull it back like that. We'll come in and clean these up in a second. So now you can say, okay, we have this piece. Let's see if we just try taking this piece over some more. And we're actually going to squish this piece up some. So just there, narrow. And that gives you kind of the feeling of a ball. So you may want to take both of them and kind of push them this way. There. And you can kind of see where I'm going with this. So I'm going to duplicate these across and see. There's the center of the ball. And see what they look like. Maybe I hit the center incorrectly. It looks like I did. So I'm just going to pull it across then. There. So there we have a rough beach ball. You can fill these if you want. You can make them wedges. You can leave them as is. I'm going to go ahead and group these just to keep them all together. You can resize them. If the beach ball looks a little funky, I probably want to do something like this. where the beach ball looks like it's on its side of it. I can't decide whether or not it needs a line in the center right here. It's kind of like a pumpkin where you have to have that one face on. So let's just roll with this because I don't want to take time with actually making the beach ball. So you have this now. Take me to the beach in the center. Let's kind of pull this out some so it's bigger than the other text and it almost touches the ball. And then we have our kind of airline feeling up here. I'm going to bring this down because it feels a little tight to the border now. Oops. Let's get all of it. And then we never did do anything with this font. So we could leave it as is, or we could say we're going to come back in and we're going to change it up from its original. I want to take it off its script. And I think I just want a nice sans serif font. But maybe not, actually, considering the beach is still casual. Let's try going to a nice serif font that has a little kick to it. Let me see. That's kind of nice. Obviously, we can resize here. That's not really the thing. You can kind of look through and say, no, that doesn't feel right. That's really, not it. But there's something about a nice serif font when you get the right one. And I think it's almost like reading a newspaper or something else that's a little comforting is that serif font actually makes you think of just kind of almost all fonts that people generally use. I'm gonna do this, shorten this up a bit. Now we make the colon match the lines, and I think that's a good one. There, I think that's a good tag to start with. And then you can change it up and you can say you're going to look at making a tag, maybe the gym. That's a good one. And I'm not going to go through making barbells right now. And you guys can find clip art too. Clip art or stock art, whatever you want to call it. It's not the devil. I know a lot of people are like, oh no, don't use clip art at all. And the reality of it is use it very carefully because you don't want your art to be associated with clip art. But using some, and I like to call it stock art because that's what it is. You have stock photos, you have stock vectors. So the stock art that you use, or the stock vectors, is something that in my case I pay for. And then I don't generally use it by itself, without any changes. I actually make changes to it. And then I use it in something. So, and that's what they like as well, is they don't want you to use it and just slapping it on something and saying this is the whole design. They want you to use it in a design. Excuse me. So we're going to come back here and we're going to say this now is going to be the gym. And this isn't really a gym font, I don't think. I mean, it could be. It could be if you do like the water bottle. I think some ladies do like the water bottle margaritas or something. And so you could add the martini, I guess. Something like that. I really don't like this G. Like that really just doesn't. I don't even know what that is. It's so weird. Okay, so now we're gonna go through, and I think we're gonna do a sans. Is this sans serif? I think it's serif. Let's try a decorative font for this and see. And decorative is one where they've gone outside both serif, sans serif. It's just one that's kind of in its own groove. And sometimes they have little pieces like here that almost looks like a dingbat font. They're calling extras. They originally used to be dingbats. Now it's extra decorative gifts, stuff like that. So I kind of like that as a throwback, but the lines are really faint on that, so we would have to redraw part of the font for that. Did you ever, when you're working with something, get to the point where a regular word looks wrong? Jim is looking really wrong, isn't it? Oh, there's chickens. Look at this. I don't even know half the fonts I have. That's a little too. See, I wonder if we do. Here's a stencil. I think that works. And I think we're going to make it bigger. Let's get it. And I'm going to rotate this. Do we want to rotate it? Okay. I think we're going to take it and we're going to take this same font from there. I'm going to come across here and we're going to take the full caps off of it. It's kind of weird. So, that's title case, but it's not quite doing it. So, okay, so let's stick with this for now since I'm rolling up on the half hour. And there's the whole selection again. Just remember, if you end up selecting the whole thing, it's because the center is right there and it's trying to help you. This is almost something I think where you might be able to stack this and turn it into vertical text. Let's see, right here, vertical type. You can just type THE. Oh, wow, that's opposite. Let's see here. Let's go in and change whatever that font has on it. Yes. Oh, I have caps lock on. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'm just going to stick with this right now. And I'm going to move this guy out of the way. And I'm going to take this and I'm going to resize this. There. I think that's about right for the height. I can actually take that, and if it feels like it's got too much gap between the letters, then you can take out the spacing between. So right now it's at 15. And it should be. Okay, we're going to try this one. Yes, okay. So we're going to go to like 25 on that. There we go, 50. And I want to change this to the same color. I just want the swatch. Okay, here it is. There. Because this isn't engraved. This isn't anything about the actual color of it. So this to me now feels like you want to go a little bit larger. And we've got the room, so we're going to do something like this. And I think in this case, we may actually center everything. So we're going to take this and center it on top and then probably expand it a little. No, that isn't quite right. So I'm going to do something like that. And we're going to take the lines that we had before. And once we get those selected, there, let's just take both. We're going to just pull them across. And I think that we want that up a little. So we'll go up like that, and it feels a little more centered. This right now feels a little too long, so we're going to pull that in. And then we're going to copy it right there, take it across, and keep it a little tight there. And we won't go too far to the edge here since we have this. So then we can take these guys, deselect the big guy again, and kind of center that underneath. I think that works. There, so that's something that's not the same when you're looking at the two. You could still add a barbell or something that's gym related for that and get away with it. I think, you'd probably go back to this corner again. But depending on where you want it, you could probably just put something up here that feels like a logo. I don't know, like I said, I've got all the ones with the animals and stuff like that, but I don't know if I can easily find a logo for a gin in there. And we're actually at our half hour, so I'm going to end it here. So I'm going to unshare first. And okay, so we've gone through, we've made a tag. We've actually shown two different ways that you can use the tag, and you can use it for a whole lot more too. You can use it as a Santa tag, give me two instead of take me two. To change up the top line, change up the fonts that you're using for seasonal. You could be using it something like take me to the hayride, take me to the pumpkin patch. Instead of the beach, you can say, take me to the tree lot if it's Christmas. So start thinking about all the different variations that you can do on that. I've heard tags are really popular. So when you start getting those out and into your inventory, then it could be something that's a really good seller for you. It really doesn't take a whole lot of time to design your own. And then your tags are going to be different than anyone else's tags out there. So I hope this was helpful. I do these every Wednesday, and I'm trying to do shorter sessions so that people are able to watch the whole thing instead of having to sit through a full hour. So let me know if you like that in the comments. Be sure to subscribe if you're not, and I will see you next week.